In August of 2021, an anonymous staff member from Yale told school officials that a high-ranking administrator was stealing millions from the esteemed university. They claimed the thief was responsible for suspiciously large orders of tablets through the school's accounts. The administrator named in the anonymous tip was Jamie Petrone. Petrone was the Director of Finance and Administration for the Department of Emergency Medicine at Yale. If you scrolled through her and her husband's Instagram, you may think he was an entertainer. His Instagram posts show off the expensive things they own. Petrone's husband, Petrone-Codrington, particularly enjoyed showing off their collection of cars. The collection included a Dodge Charger, a red and black Range Rover, a black Escalade, and a white Mercedes G-Wagon. These expensive cars were often parked in one of Petrone's 3 homes, all in Connecticut, a state famous for its expensive real estate. They also owned a 5-bed, 5-bath house in Georgia that's worth almost $600,000. When Petrone wasn't in one of her 4 expensive homes or driving her luxury cars, she walked around town in designer clothes. Her favorite brand? Louis Vuitton. Petrone's husband bought diamond bracelets, necklaces, and expensive clothes as well. Together, they went on lavish trips around the world. One photo on their Instagram showed them dining at Gucci Garden, a famous restaurant in Florence, Italy. Their families thought they earned their fortune from their entertainment company called Massive Entertainment that grew far beyond expectations. But wouldn't it make sense to focus more time and energy on a business than a corporate job, especially if it meant getting paid more per hour? Just like any other university, Yale's campus needs computers to run. The school allowed certain employees to order supplies for students and staff. For any IT equipment order, there's a $10,000 limit. If an administrator wanted to order anything over $10,000, they needed approval from a superior. But the limit didn't apply to how many orders you could file at one time, and no Yale employee recognized the loophole more than Petrone. Yale is a school that's over 300 years old, with $42 billion in assets. Their main concern isn't budgeting, but providing the best academic experience possible for their students. That's why it took nearly a decade for anyone to notice Petrone was taking millions from the school. Petrone bought her first order of tech devices in 2013. She used her position to buy the latest trend in electronics, which was the tablet. We probably don't need to remind you that iPads were especially popular in the early 2010s. Petrone had first found a retail company in Long Island that needed more tablets. She then filed an order through Yale for just under $10,000 worth of iPads and Microsoft Surface Pros and bought them with Yale's money. Since Petrone was an administrator for the School of Medicine, she classified the order as necessary IT medical equipment. However, when the medical equipment arrived, Petrone simply took the tablets home with her and then sold and shipped the shipment to the retailer on Long Island for a tidy 100% profit. Of course, the retailer couldn't simply make the payments to Petrone. Instead, Petrone used her husband's company, Massive Entertainment, to receive payments. After getting away with the first order, Petrone realized that no one was checking after her. So, Petrone kept ordering more IT equipment, making the same orders that were slightly under $10,000 over and over again. Yale didn't suspect anything, nor did the retailer question their Connecticut supplier. To them, they were buying tablets at a great price from a company called Massive Entertainment. In reality, they were buying iPads stolen from Yale. Meanwhile, Massive Entertainment was doing very well. Petrone-Codrington founded the company in 2003 according to his LinkedIn page, but the company's best years, by far, were during the 8-year period from 2013 to 2021. Petrone sold thousands of tablets over that 8-year period. By 2021, she had stolen roughly $40 million worth of tablets, all on Yale's dollar. And as you already know, she made no effort to hide her illegal and immoral profits. But because the sudden influx of wealth came in under the guise of massive entertainment, no one suspected anything. Codrington was the self-proclaimed CEO of Massive. His Instagram, which doubles as his business page, made Codrington's priorities quite clear. In a way, Codrington and his business were a front for what was really going on. Codrington hasn't been charged with any crimes related to his wife's scheme, but he and Massive Entertainment still served their own unique purpose, keeping the retailer, their family, their friends, and most important of all, the police off of Jamie's illegal business. Meanwhile, back at Yale, a few people noticed the high volume of orders coming from Petrone's department. In June of 2020, someone finally asked her why she was ordering so many iPads. When Yale officials asked her why, Petrone simply explained away the issue. She said her department needed a significant equipment update. The Yale officials, preoccupied with bigger pandemic problems, accepted the simple explanation and moved on. Their aloofness allowed Petrone to continue her operation for 13 more months before the anonymous tip came in and brought the entire house of cards down. The anonymous tipper to this day has never been identified. They were most likely someone from Petrone's department or someone who worked close to her. They saw the abnormally frequent orders and they allegedly saw Petrone stuffing tablets into the trunk of her car. Yale's financial auditors sifted through Petrone's order history once the tip came in. They discovered that Petrone had millions of dollars worth of computer equipment, way more than her department could ever use in a lifetime. The Yale auditors handed the information over to local authorities, and when the police saw Petrone's order history, they knew something suspicious was going on. In 2021 alone, Petrone ordered an absurd amount of equipment. Records show that on May 26, 2021, Petrone told an employee to start filing an order for 100 Microsoft Surface Pros. Petrone said the tablets were for a new study launching on Memorial Day weekend. Like the Yale officials, the employee didn't think much about it and divided a chunk of the massive order into 12 separate purchase orders for 8 tablets each. Each order was worth a little over $9,000, just low enough to not have anyone sign off on the orders. The employee filed the rest in 4 other purchase orders for $4,500 each. When Petrone got the shipment in, she turned around and sold the tablets for $71,000 to her buyer in Long Island. In addition to Petrone's order history, investigators also found shady-looking bank statements on her account. Petrone applied for a PayPal loan in 2021 and used his smuggling capital as collateral. Investigators used the information from PayPal to obtain bank statements that displayed 4 months' worth of lavish spending. The statements and order history were enough for authorities to arrest Petrone in September of 2021. Prosecutors charged Petrone with wire fraud, mail fraud, and money laundering. All combined, Petrone faces a maximum sentence of 23 years behind bars. She pleaded guilty to all charges and was released on a $1 million bail by a judge in New Haven, Connecticut. Petrone's plea agreement, the only reason she got out on bail, bled her dry. She forfeited $560,000 in cash. The money was seized from Massive Entertainment's bank account, along with 6 of the high-end cars she and Codrington owned. As for Petrone's 3 homes in Connecticut, she agreed to sell them and hand the proceeds over to Yale as restitution. Petrone agreed to sell her Georgia home, listing it for $580,000. Besides Yale, some of these proceeds and seizures went to the government. Why? Because, of course, Petrone never reported any of her income to the IRS. She filed false federal tax returns from 2013 through 2016, in which she claimed the costs of the stolen equipment as business expenses. She then simply failed to file federal tax returns from 2017 to 2020. The IRS calculated that they lost out on over $6 million in tax revenue. In October of 2022, Jamie Petrone was sentenced to more than 9 years in prison, 109 months in prison to be exact. Both Yale and the government will probably never get all their money back, since Petrone spent some of her illicit gains on travel, food, and fashion items that immediately depreciate in value after you buy them. There wasn't much money left to return. The real question Yale should ask is, what exactly were Yale's accountants really doing from 2013 to 2021? Yale launched an official investigation into their accounting department to, quote, identify and correct gaps in its internal financial controls. We know how Petrone stole 8 figures from one of the most prestigious universities in America. Perhaps one day we'll learn how it took them 8 years to notice. Let us know in the comment section whether or not you think scammers should have to pay back the full amount of what they stole. Click to watch one of these next videos.